In this video, I want to look at a few simple bash scripts, and my focus will be on the ls command and some of its options, as well as sending the output, the standard output of a command into a text file, and then the difference between sort of overwriting and appending if we sort of do that again, if we send more output to the same text file. So let's start here with a little script. And I'm just going to have ls and different options. And when I'm using this emulator, the big difference is going to be, so this is sort of a directory with sort of one file in it, and that is this script. So imagine that this script is the only file, but that doesn't mean it's the only thing in the directory, as we'll see. Okay. So ls is a command. It's going to show you what's in the directory. So this first ls is going to show you this file that we're running. And then it will echo out to give us some separation, this sort of dashed line separator. When we add the A option, it's going to sort of show the hidden stuff. So there can be hidden files, but there are always, and there can be hidden directories, but there are always some sort of hidden directories. There is always, even in a directory that seems to be empty, you will find when you run ls-a, a dot and a double dot. And a dot is a reference to the directory itself, and double dot refers to the parent of this directory. So, and if there were more hidden things, that would show them. But that's, in this simple example, that's going to be, those are the hidden things. And they serve their purposes, especially double dot, although I've even used some single dots on occasion. But that is what we'll see. Sort of. So the A option will show us more, the hidden things. And in this simple example, the only hidden things will be the dot, the double dot. S is going to show us the size of things. So it will show us the size of the file that has the script in it. And then if we want to show everything and show its size, we can do combine options. So S and A, and the order doesn't matter. So we can say SA or AS. And that's what we're going to have here. The option, I'm now down here in 22, I'm adding the L option. So I have Sal, and that is the sort of long listing. So that's going to show the permissions. Can you read the file? Can you write to the file? Can you execute the file? Tell me who's the owner of the file, what group does that owner of the file, what group has access to the file, or what is the group of the owner of the file, and then I will finally add one more option, the I option, and so all the files are assigned what sort of an index number or an inode, and that will add the inode to what is displayed. And what I like about this is it spells word sale, and that is, so it gives a lot of information. The size, it shows all the files because of the A, it shows the size of the files because of the S, it gives me the permissions because of the L, it gives me the inode because of the I. And so it's an easy word for me to remember, sale, and it gives me a bunch of the options that I might want. So it's an easy way for me to remember the options that I find useful. So let's have a running of this. And here's the first bare ls, and it's showing just main.sh. So that is, in this emulator, we're imagining that this script is the file main.sh, and there it is. Then we added the A option, and so we're showing the hidden things, and there's the dot and double dot directories added to the list. And this total is part of that output. Okay, so then what am I showing down here? The size, and then S and A together. So here was, this is the A and the S together, the 0, so that dot and double dot are not taking up any size according to this, and the main SH is taking up 4. And it didn't matter. This is the SA and the AS, it didn't matter. When I add the L, I'm getting this long listing. So now sort of each thing is taking its own line because it's a long listing. So there's a lot more information. But here's the size 004. Here are the permissions, this long DRWX. So that is saying that the dot is a directory, starts with a D. The owner has, which they say is runner, has read, write, and execute permissions. The group is also called runner, and it has read and execute, but not write. And then this is the sort of the world, sort of everybody also has read and execute permissions. The double dot is a directory, and everybody can do everything. And this main SH starts with a dash because it's not a directory. The runner has read and write, and then everybody else just has read. The group has read, and the world has read. And then the last one, I'm adding the sort of the inodes, these numbers, and so here are these numbers identifying the files and directories that are added to my output. Okay, so that is LS and a bunch of its options. Okay, that was fun. Okay, now here is another little script. I'm going to show just a date command, which we've seen before, and it just sort of outputs a date time in whatever format it decides to be. Its default one is good enough for me in this case. And then I'm going to run an ls sale that we just talked about. So I'm going to show the files and directories. So it'll be the main sh. It'll be this script, and and then the dot and double dot. And then I'm just going to, as a separator, echo out a dashed line. And then I'm going to take the date command, and with this sort of greater than symbol, I'm going to take that output. Instead of putting it to the terminal, I'm going to put it to a file, a date_output.txt. If that file exists, I will overwrite what's in there. But if that file does not exist, I'm going to create it. And so you'll see the date in the terminal, you'll see it once. But you will see when I do the ls again, then I will have created another file. So, okay, so here is the date from the original just pure date on line 2. Then here is my ls minus sale showing the my dot, double dot, and main. And then I run this command 9, this line of code 9. I'm taking the date, but we don't see it displayed again because the output is being sent to this file. The file didn't exist before, so it was created. And then I did another ls. So here's my second ls, dot, double dot, the new file created, and the original, then the script. So that's what I wanted to show you, sort of just taking output, and instead of displaying it on the terminal, sending it someplace else, in this case, sending it to a file. So you don't see it on the terminal, but it's going somewhere. There is something in Linux called like dev null. So, and there are two types of output, actually. There's like error output in case the the command. There's not much that can go wrong with date, but if something goes wrong with the command, there's error output, and there's also the standard output of the command, and they can both be directed somewhere. And if you just want them to sort of vanish, you can sort of send them to what's called dev null, sort of the null device, just sort of get rid of them. But that's not what we're doing here. We don't see it in the terminal, but we did put it into a file. And next we'll see sort of how to see what's in the file. But in this case, we're not looking at what's in the file. We're just saying, okay, there is a file. And it's got a size of 4. So that suggests that there's something in there. Okay. Third script I want to show you. Okay, so we play this game of I'm sending the output of the date command into this file, date_output.txt. And then I'm showing how to get the information back out of a text file. And that is this command cat. So cat will spit out all that's in the file. So I'm going to put the date into the file, and then I'm going to bring it right. It's not going to come out of the file, but I'm going to show what's in the file using cat from line 4. I'm just going to give myself echo out this dashed line, that's sort of a separator, the \n with the E. So it's going to give me also a blank line. I'm going to echo out just the word hey. And I'm going to use 2 arrows this time and put it into date_output.txt. And the difference between one, I'll call it an arrow, and 2 arrows is that with 2 arrows, you append. So you will keep what was previously there. So I have a date, and then I am adding the word hey, and then I'm putting the date in again. So I should have the date and then hey, and then the date again. And I'm catting what's in the file. So this time we should see what was in the file, and I'm expecting it to be date, hey, date. Another separator. I'm sort of not quite repeating in 12 what I did in 7, but the difference being a single arrow. And so, but with a single arrow, it is overwriting. So I had a date and the word hey, and then the word date again. But when I get down to line 12, I'm writing just the word hey. And then in 13, I'm writing the date. And again, it's a single arrow, so I'm overwriting. And so it'll just be the date. And then I'm catting out in 14. I'm showing you what's in the file, and it will just be the date. And then I have a separator. And then in 16, I'm sort of combining a cat and what I've been calling an arrow. So I'm spitting out what's in one file and putting it in a different file. And I could use this in combination with double arrows, and I could sort of take a number of files and sort of put all their contents into one file, or one big file if I want. And then, so 16, I won't see anything on the terminal from 16, but then I will see the contents of what I'm calling date backup. So imagine this, copying one file over to another as a sort of a backup. And then I am catting, I'm showing what's in that backup file. Okay, so this was from line 2. It was, actually it's from line 4. Line 2 was putting the date into this file, so we don't see that. But line 4 uses cat and brings it out. So this is the cat. This is line 4. And then there's the separator with the \n, so a space. There's nothing on the terminal from 7 because we're writing to a file, and we are appending. And 8, you don't see anything in the terminal from line 8, but we're also appending. And then we are spitting out the contents of the file with cat on 9. And we see here the contents of the file. It's got the date and the hey and the date again. so that we were appending, we were adding to what was already there. Line 11 was just the dashes with the \n, so an extra line here. We wrote in 12, we wrote the word hey to the date output file. We were overwriting, so at this stage, all the file says is hey. But then in 13, we do an additional overwriting with the date. And then we spit out the date. So this down here is that date. So we overwrote it with the word hey, then we overwrote it again with just the date. And that's what we're seeing here in 14. And here's my separator. And then I took what was in the file I made above and put it into this backup file and then catted out the backup file. So that should have the same contents as the file. So just combining a cat and an arrow to copy a file, if you will. There are other ways so we can copy files, but that is a way. That's what I wanted to show you in these little scripts, lists and writing to a file, and the difference between appending and overwriting. Thanks for your